What's up, guys? So today we are taking a look at the Dill 1500 Tpms retrofit kit. So as you may or may not know, we have a Sprinter based RV that we enjoy and we have been putting a little bit of work into. One thing that I felt like it always needed and unfortunately didn't come with stock is a tire pressure monitoring system. They are big tires, they hold a lot of weight, and it's good to know when they're running low, and that could really prevent you from running into some trouble. The only issue with it was because of the weight of it, they don't legally have to provide you with some. So your only real option are aftermarket ones. Generally, those are the kind that screw onto your little valves, and that in itself is its own issue. It adds weight to it, it's complexity each and every time you want to unscrew the valves, fill in the blank. So I went ahead and got a hold of this Dill 1500 system. Now this one is specifically made for Sprinter RVs, but it can be used on other things as well. What's special about this is how it mounts up. These little bands here are unique because they actually go around the rim, and then the monitors would basically just clip onto it. So everything is inside the tire and rim. From the outside, it's going to look completely stock. There isn't going to be anything held on to the valve cover or anything. This set's really neat. So it monitors up to 10 tires. Because this is a dually, I have 6 sensors for the drive tires, and then I got an extra sensor for the spare tire. It's going to have 2 ways of powering it. You can either plug it into a cigarette lighter, just normally, or you can hardwire it into a 12-volt source, and it even has a little fuse holder. And that's just a little mini USB. It comes with an antenna extender in case you have, a trailer or something like that that's a little longer than most trucks. As you can see, that's magnetic and it's very strong. Look at that. Speaking of strong, this monitor. It is a smaller display, but just look at that. This is just held on by a suction cup, and it's not even on there that tightly, and you can tell just by that the quality of this thing. This thing's stout. Basically everything here is built well. It's real sturdy feeling. It feels like it's a quality product. You picked one of these up, or just feel the way the mount is on this monitor, or the monitor itself, the magnets, you can tell where your money went. This is a made in America product, and it definitely shows it. So obviously I'm going to have this professionally installed. I'm about to get new tires for the RV, so we're going to take it to the tire shop now, get a new set of tires put on it, get these installed, and then we'll go from there. Now, the thing to remember about larger vehicle tires like this is that even though they look like they're new, they could be cracked from just sitting around in the sun and baking without being used. You could think your tires have lots of life left in them, only to go down the street and have a blowout. Keeping proper tire pressure in the tires will help them last longer and be safer, specifically on these larger vehicles. Now that I had the tires installed, I had to mount the monitor. If you want to mount it on a porous surface other than what it's made for on glass, you have a couple of options. You could either use mounting tape like I did, or a hot glue gun worked surprisingly well and is easily removable. Now, once it's all mounted up, you're going to have to decide whether you want to use the regular 12-volt power outlet or hardwire it. I think for most people, just plugging in to the cigarette lighter will be fine, which is what I'm doing, but I do plan on having it hardwired soon. Now that you have the tires and display mounted, you have to put the sensors on the back of the display in whatever order they're mounted on your vehicle. For instance, monitor D is on the driver's side rear tire, so you would take the chip for it and put it on the driver's side rear port on the back of the display. Whenever you do a tire rotation, you can just move the chips around on the back of the display in whatever order they're mounted in your vehicle. It helps to keep track of this whenever you get your tires mounted in the first place, so you know where everything is and it's easy to change around from there on out. The manual actually has a little graph that you can have your tire shop follow in order to make things that much easier. Now, once you plug in your receiver and you have all the chips in the correct order, you're going to actually have to program the receiver to your correct tire pressure. Now, from the factory, it's set at about a 35 psi level. So if your tires require more than 35 psi or less for that matter, the alarm's going to be going off because it thinks 35 psi is what there should be in it. So once you get the tires inflated to the recommended pressure, again, that's going to be different for each application, you're going to want to program it. This is really simple. It shows here on the instructions, you just use the RD buttons in the right order and do what you have to do. A couple of minutes of that, and then it's going to have everything programmed to the right specifications. And the only time the alarm's going to go off is when the tires are either overinflated, underinflated, or the temperature is too high. It's a really annoying beep, 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 beep. So you're going to want to do this right away. Now, on to actually using the unit. We just got done with a very long road trip all over basically the entire western United States. We went to several national parks, forests, cities, pretty much everything you could think of. We had this thing alongside us the entire time, and it fed us nonstop useful information about the tires. For instance, we learned that our tires had a little bit of a slow leak that dropped us about 60 psi in 2 weeks. Now, mind you, we were doing a lot of driving, but just looking at the tires from the outside, you wouldn't have realized how low they were getting. So that saved us just from there. It's got all the useful information without anything overbearing. The display is small but easy to read in the direct sunlight, and it even has backlighting for nighttime driving. What's neat about it is you can see how cold the tires are when you take off in the morning, and then how hot they become when you're doing kind of high-speed freeway driving around some corners and this and that. They really do heat up. One thing that I would suggest could be improved is the way that the display itself is mounted. It just has a suction cup base, which is really, really high quality and strong if you want to mount it to glass or something flat like that. But in my particular situation, I wanted to mount it to kind of like a porous surface, so I had to resort to just kind of hot gluing it down. There's no way to take the suction cup part off the bottom of the base to give it a, something to bite down on. So it's still not the strongest connection, but it gets the job done. It's not really made to be mounted like that, so I can't knock it. The unit itself, super high quality. It connects every time. It gives me what I feel like are accurate readings when compared to a regular tire pressure monitor. And it's always there. You don't have to think about it. If you're not even looking at the display and something goes awry, like too much pressure from driving fast or the tire's leaking or hot or whatever, it's going to let you know. Again, it's got that really annoying beep, 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 and that's going to grab your attention real quick. Now, for my final thoughts, would I recommend the Dill Tpms system? 100% absolutely. Everything from their customer service to the quality of the product itself has been outstanding. You can hop on Facebook chat, talk to them, and they can connect you directly to the actual engineers that design the system itself. Now, I haven't had to do that, but just the fact that they offer that service that readily says a lot about the company itself. Another thing that stood out to me is the fact that they sell Dill itself at Costco. And as a lot of you may know, Costco is very selective on the products they carry. They really research the companies to vet them before they put them, on their shelves. Obviously, this was at the tire center, but the fact that they had them there vetted them for me. Again, this is not the most affordable system on the market, but in my extensive research, and trust me, I did plenty, it's without a doubt the best. You don't have to deal with those caps at the end of your valves or anything. It's just set it and forget it. And it's got a super long battery life that should outlast your tires more than likely. All right, so I'm going to have links in the description for where you can get the Dill system directly from them. And that's going to do it for this one. So until next time, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for lots more videos just like this. Peace.